Tonight's menu, science. Mostly meat, but with science. All right, from the title, we're doing carne asada. Carne asada is let's be honest, not a prime cut of beef, so we need to do a few things to it to make it yummy. First of all, you have to give it some flavor, some marinade, some sort of seasoning, and you have to cook it properly, and you have to cut it properly. If you do all those three things, you've got a really great meal on your hand. Some amazing tacos, fajitas, whatever you want. Make carne asada burrito. I'm not here to judge what you do with your carne asada. That's between you and your carne asada. I'm here to show you how to make it. So, there are three really prime ways to do it. You've got the marinated stuff you can buy at the grocery store, your butcher, or something like that. They choose what flavors they put on it. You guess that it's going to taste good, and you hope. How does hope work for any of us? Not so good anymore. No, hope's that's an old notion. Yeah, we don't go by hope anymore. So second method, pretty much the same thing they do, but you get to choose the spices. Now I'm going to give you my base setting of spices. You can adjust it based on your own desires. You can add a little more heat. You take some heat out. You can add a little sweet to it, things like that. You can do basically however you want it as far as that goes, but it's basically things that you're going to have that are easy for you to get, and that's pretty simple. The third method, slightly controversial, and you'll have to wait till the end of the video to find out what that is. But some people seem to really like it. It's quite popular if you believe the Tiki-Takis. Those chefly wizards of the 30-second cooking video. Why wouldn't they lie? So it has to be good. So we're going to try it, and we're going to see what happens. And I'm excited. I'm really excited, and that's where we're going to get a little sciencey. So you have to stay tuned, find out, see how that turns out, and we're going to try these three ways, taste test it, see which is the best. Because let's be honest, meat's real expensive these days, and we don't need to be wasting any money on stuff that's going to turn out like crap that we don't want to eat. So let's find the best method, save you some money, save you some time, and there you go. Let's get started. All right, so the first method, mystery meat in a bag. Who doesn't love this? We've got 1.36 pounds here for only $13.64. What a deal. This is basically what would be considered throwaway meat. Usually this is a very cheap cut of meat. They're selling it for nice bit of money these days. Fantastic. All right, so this is, oddly enough, the cheapest method of the three, because just buying skirt steak is $14 a pound. So you're getting already ahead of the game. Odd, isn't it? Anyways, okay, so let's put some tongs in this bag and see what comes out. Okay, well that is interesting. Okay, it's a red flavoring on there. Not too runny, but not too not runny. It's not bad. It's a kind of a thicker marinade on that. Okay. It smells pretty good. If I'm guessing, it's chili powder. There's paprika. And I'd say that there's Worcestershire sauce on that. A little bit. Maybe soy. Something in there. There's something in there that I'm not quite picking up. This just says beef flat meat marinated carne asada. That's all you get. We have no idea. I'm not going to taste this until I cook it. So we should get doing that right now. Let's go out to the grill and cook this. You can cook this inside in a skillet if you want to. I do recommend cast iron because you can get it really, really hot, like 500 degrees, really, really smoking hot. Slam this down, flip it over in a well-seasoned pan so it doesn't stick and rip apart completely. If it's stuck, don't try and flip it yet. It'll release when it's ready. That's the thing about meat. It'll always tell you when it's ready to flip because it'll come up. If it's still sticking, it's not ready yet. But yeah, let's go cook this up and see what we get. Yeah, should be interesting. All right, let's go outside. Today we're cooking this on a very, very hot grill. Carne Asada is very thin and you want to get good flavor on it, so a hot grill in a short period of time is really the way you want to cook this. Make sure you don't have any flaps folded over, that sort of thing, and give it a cook. Now it's sped up because you don't have all day. I appreciate that. As you see, it lifts easily, and when it's ready to come, it does. And now just pull it off and let it rest before we go slice it. All right, so method number 2 for making carne asada. Buy a skirt steak, unmarinated. The other ways, first way is the easy way. Just get the pre-marinated stuff. This, you can control what you're making. I like this method. So get this, it's about 2 pounds. I'm dividing it up because I'm doing the multiple methods. So I'm going to cut this open here without cutting my hand open. A little bit of blood in here, so do this over the sink. You may or may not want to keep the blood. And it's in multiple pieces. Luckily, I just cleaned my sink. It's not in one piece. Of course, why would it be in one piece? Okay, so here's the big old skirt steak. Here you go. Yummy deliciousness. Now figure out which pieces you want to use for this and which piece you're going to save. I'm going to use this piece for this and this piece for the third method. That'll be a lot of fun. So this piece here is going to be the third method. This is this one. I don't even have to cut it because they've already done that for me. So it's perfect. All right. So we've got a Ziploc bag here. Zip top bag, sorry, don't sue me. I don't know why they would. Just got free advertising. Garlic, first thing going in. Yeah, it's meat. You put garlic in it. Not really a surprise. All right, there's that. My hands are a mess because they're all covered in carne asada goop. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands real fast because I'm covered in blood. Okay, there, that's better. All right, so to do this, we're going to take some beef stock. This is about a cup of beef stock right there. Putting it in the bag with our 2 cloves of garlic, black pepper. Grind a bunch of black pepper in here because it's still steak. How much is that? Probably a teaspoonish. Okay, Mexican oregano. Okay, it is meat. Meat likes certain herbs. Not going to take a lot of this. This is a tablespoon thing that we're going to be using for the rest of this, but I got maybe a quarter of a tablespoon and throwing stuff around. Hilarious. Okay, cumin, also very, very strong and spilling everywhere. You're going to need about a quarter of a tablespoon of this. Let's see if I can get the lid on this one. Hey, what do you know? This is Ancho Powder. You can pick this up at any of your local spice shops there in Albuquerque. Next time you're in town, just pick some up. You can probably find it at other places too, but I use this instead of chili powder. It's pretty mild, but it has more of an earthy, spicier tone to it than regular plain chili powder you're going to find at the store. That was a tablespoon of that. Okay. Paprika. Paprika. This is more of a sweet style, not the really, really spicy stuff or smoky stuff. This is only the, 85 redness. The number on it refers to the color, not heat. So don't think the higher number is going to get you that. Chipotle. Okay, now this. Oh, it's going to hurt somebody. That is a full tablespoon of that too. Zoinks. Okay, because you're in the bag, start up basically just by doing that. Just give it a shimmy. Everyone likes a shimmy. Okay, that, no clumps, no clumps. Good, no clumps. I like no clumps. In goes the meat. All right, I have another bag here. I'm gonna take this other guy and we're gonna start prepping that in a minute, but I'm gonna get it in here to start with so that I can clean up at the moment and reset for method number 3, which you'll see in a little bit. So I'm gonna bag this up, put it in the fridge, keep it in a bowl because these bags aren't 100% foolproof. Occasionally they leak. So keep it in a bowl, put it in the fridge, let this sit several hours. Since there's no acid in here, you can let it sit overnight. It's even better, but I ain't got that kind of time, so I'm gonna go about 3 hours, which should be plenty to get plenty of flavor in there. And then we're gonna grill them all up, all 3 different kinds, and eat them, test them, see what you think. All right, stay tuned. Okay, we're ready to continue on with marinade number 2. Now this is the one we made ourselves. This is some beef stock and a bunch of dry spices, things like that. There is one thing I didn't put in this that you could, which is, it's called Maggi seasoning, M-A-G-G-I. It might be a little hard to find, unless you have a thing called the Amazons, and they'll ship it to your house. Because of course they will, why wouldn't they? You can put that in here. It is considered to be like Mexican soy sauce. So it's beef based, it's not soy based, it is beef. So it goes in stuff like this. This is pretty normal for it. But this is a little bit more watery than the last thing we just saw. You can see she's a dripping. Ooh, she's gonna be good. Yeah. So this is probably just under a pound. The other one was just over. And there you go. She's been marinating for several hours. And this is one we did ourselves, so we get to control exactly what it tastes like. I'm kind of excited for this one. Let's go throw it on the grill and find out. So this is pretty much similar to what we just went through with the first one, but this one's a little bit thicker on one end, so it'll take a little bit longer to cook. A little more challenging because one end's thick, one end's thin. Just wait till it is ready to release. Give it a flip. Keep it moving around. If you have a hot spot on your grill, put the thick spot on the hot spot. Obviously, that helps out quite a bit. But try not to kill the thing. When it's done, we're just going to pull it off, let it rest before we slice it. But that's about it. And I think she's done now, so let's go. All right. That is Carne Asada. Here's our first 2 samples right here. You can see this is the stuff we got marinated from the grocery store, from the butcher's counter. It's very red, which tells me there's a lot of paprika in there. It definitely has a smell that reminds me of Worcestershire. We shall find out in a second. And this is the one that we did. It's very brown, and it's juicy and delicious. You should let these rest, which I have done. So now we're going to take them out onto our block here and see how we did. Okay, cutting this is incredibly important. Let me grab a knife. Oh, good. None of my knives are clean. Yay! Let me grab this knife. Okay, cutting this is incredibly important because there's a grain across it. And if you do this wrong, people are gonna hate you. So don't do this wrong. It's real easy. So the grain is running this way across it. So I need to cut off a couple of strips like this. This is so thin that it's hard to cook it. You don't want to, you want to have a little bit of char flavor to it, but you don't want it to be so cooked it's dried out and it's tough as hell. It's a little tricky. Okay, so this one Wow, this has got some weird grains, but it looks like it is going this way as well. So I'm going to cut off this. This is a thicker piece of meat. So it's going to give us, oh, you can see it's a little juicy. Oh, it's a little juicy. Okay, let's try a couple of these pieces. First of all, these store-bought marinated. Not bad. Generic carne asada. This is stuff that I made myself that costs more. Okay. It's about 1,000 times better. It actually has flavor. I'll be honest with you. It's a little spicy. So maybe, you know, the chipotle. You can taste the chipotle. Oh, wow, there's a lot of flavor. But just the meat on its own has a lot of flavor. So when you add this to a bunch of other stuff, it's going to stand up really nice. So if I have my choice, I'm going to go this way. This is the winner so far. Although, you know, sample size is pretty small. You got to keep eating a lot, right? Oh, that's pretty good. I mean, I'm not mad at this. But, oh my God. Right. Well, sorry. Round one goes to make it yourself. Of course, we kind of figured that, right? But respectable, not bad. You know, if you're out of time, whatever, don't have a whole bunch of spices, don't want to do that. Respectable, but there you go. All right, so let's turn this into some tacos and feast. And then let's do number 3. And this should be really fun because science. All right, now for our third method. You've seen this. You may have tried it. It seems very popular, and if you look for marinades on the old interwebs, you'll see that people put orange and onions and maybe limes and things like that, sometimes grapefruit and a cola, and they will mix it all in, and they will soak the skirt steak in that for 12, 24 hours, 36, 7, 48 hours, something like that. This is the result. This is what you will end up with if you do that. That's not an opinion, that's science. Actual, real science, not like we have these days. We know for a fact, this has long been proven. You can look it up, you can question me, you can try this. Please, experiment at home. If you want to throw away $30 for a skirt steak, go right ahead. Just don't eat it. The acids will break down the collagen and the fat, and it will turn it into this weird goo that isn't good. It's gross as hell. And when you cook it, it will do weird things, and the blood does, oh, it's not edible. That's a waste of good skirt steak. So, this is how that turned out, and that is the third method. I do not recommend the third method. I highly, highly recommend you go with method number 1 or 2, your choice. But this third method, if you see someone doing that, walk away, laugh, point, giggle. Because now you know, science. It says acid and beef are a bad idea. There you go. Thanks. Okay, let's go. Back to tongs. I'm going to keep these warm for the moment, and let's make the tacos. I'll show you how to do some fun tricks with the tortillas. Oh yeah, we're going to do that. And there. Get back here in a second. Let's assemble some tacos. Now, you've had carne asada before, and if you haven't, I don't have time to explain this to you. But you know the usual suspects here. Onion, cilantro, guacamole, a cotija. And here is a little bit of jack cheese. Some people like jack cheese on there. We got our tortillas, which are warmed up nicely. I'll show you a little bit of secret on that. Something you can do to make them. You have to cut up some meat? Let's do that. Let's push this ew thing out of the way. Ew. Ew. All right. I'm just kidding. It's delicious. Seriously. There's nothing wrong with the store-bought marinated stuff. It's just their choices, not yours. I will say, maybe if you're not a fan of super spicy stuff, back down the chipotle quite a bit. Because holy cow, it's a little spicy. What are we going to do? Or as they say, it's fire. Yeah, no, it's fire in your mouth. So, chipotle spicy. I don't know why. Okay, so look at this. It's actually still juicy and delicious and amazing. So, that is really good. Cut it up in some bite-sized morsels here. That's going to make a couple of tacos. Yeah, it will. All right, so let's get this one going because, hey, I can feed this to somebody. Kidding, it's delicious. It's perfectly fine. You know, if you prefer the taste of beef jerky tacos, it's perfectly lovely. Everyone will like it. There's a lot of time spent doing this, but this is the important part. You got to cut it right so that you can eat it right. You got to get bite-sized morsels that are cut across the grain properly, as this is. So there you go. I will set this off to the side because this is enough to get started right here, and you don't have all day. I appreciate that. You've spent enough time here already, and let's just keep moving. All right. So as you will see, I'm going to show you right now, I have a little secret with corn tortillas. And let's go to that video, Bob. There's no Bob. It's just me. I don't know why I keep calling myself Bob. Okay, go. Thanks, me. I'll take it from here. Dipping these corn tortillas in chili oil. What is chili oil? If you take some vegetable oil, heat it to about 250, 300 degrees, add some paprika and some cayenne, you've got chili oil. All right, when it's fully coated, put it in a hot skillet. I mean, you want it to be a hot skillet. Now, the skillet itself is not greased. I've done a few already, so there's a little bit of the oil coming off. Just flip them back and forth until you get this done. You don't want them crispy. You just want them to start to firm up a little bit. And adding all that wonderful flavor and everything else. When it's done, they go in the tortilla warmer, and that's about it. Now you know. All right. So as you can see, I did a couple of regulars, but these are the red chili tortillas, which are crazy. I'll do one of each, just because that one, they're a little crazy. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not sure my wife is going to appreciate that, so I'll give her one regular. But yeah, so just heat them up like that, and you have yourself some really yummy tortillas. Get a tortilla warmer so that they don't get cold. Guacamole, as you can see, only the finest. If you can find avocados, good for you. That's all I'll say. It's a crazy world we live in. You may or may not find avocados on a given day. This wasn't that day. So, only the finest. Ooh, signature cafe. Oh, yep. That's a Albertsons, Vaughn's sort of thing. I don't know if you have those where you are, but all right. What do you put in here? What goes in here? Haven't you been paying attention? So we get a little bit of this. I'm going to put some on both sides. She's going to be really surprised. That's crazy. This one, let me just do the good stuff. Okay, for mine, we'll do one of each. I'm curious how they turn out. Fortunately, I don't have the third method, as you saw. Science. What are you going to do? You can't change science. And apparently, digesting the meat in a bag of acid overnight is a really bad idea. It comes out pretty much like poop. So I know I shouldn't be saying that while we're eating food, but what are you gonna do? All right, guacamole. This has some spice to it. So if you put a schmear down the side here, everyone appreciates that because guacamole has a cooling effect, let's be honest. The avocado is nice. You can see what we're doing there, just put a schmear in it. Just give it a schmear. Sorry, I have a really weird sense of humor. You're gonna find out quickly. Onions. Gotta be a good amount of onions. You can't skimp on the onions. They're really good. Cilantro. Yes, cilantro. Cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, eat something other than tacos. Cotija cheese. That is an acquired taste. If you don't know what cotija cheese is, queso fresco is fresh cheese. Cotija cheese is aged. It's somewhere between Parmesan and feta. It's very salty. So go very sparingly with it if you don't know if you like it or not. Because otherwise, you could ruin a perfectly good taco. If you don't like cotija cheese, again, tacos may not be your thing. But no, not everybody likes cotija. Not everybody likes cilantro. It's fine. I get it. You don't have to. I've got plenty of things that I don't like to eat. So I get it. I'm not judging. All right. That is Carne Asada tacos. Look at that. They're amazing. They're incredible. They're awesome. And they're getting cold. So we're going to eat these. And I'm going to say thank you. Give us a thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. This seemed a lot harder than it probably looked there. But the camera adds, 20 minutes. So there you go. We're going to eat before it gets any colder. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Bye.